Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Seaborne Quest and our great South American voyage. On this leg of your trip, you will be experiencing Patagonia, Antarctica, South Georgia, and the Falkland Islands. I hope you have an amazing time and make great memories throughout this voyage.
But I wanted to extend a very special invitation. Tomorrow we'll be doing an introduction to the entire team and essentials of what is to come to Antarctica.
This is no ordinary voyage. You will need a spirit of adventure. So ladies and gentlemen, here's to you, the travelers venturing southward, and here's to the majesty of Antarctica. Cheers.
Puerto Montt and latitude 41 is the beginning of Patagonia experience. It's the beginning of the 1,000 islands and the 100 fjords. This is the Lake District of Chile. It's special because of the green color. In Chile, you have the combination of a crazy geography, heaven for the geologist, the laboratory of Darwin. It has energy that have been waiting to be released for centuries. This Petroguer River is blocked by lava rocks, lava that might have came from one previous eruption from Osorno volcano. And that power, that energy, you feel it when you hear the roaring sound of the river, when you hear the wind blowing through the trees. You hear the music of nature.
We are in an amazing area of Chile. These are all fjords. You see a network of channels crisscrossing all of this area. This area was completely formed by glaciers that have carved through the rock of this area. Rivers of ice that move in a downhill motion, pluck rock, and they carve valleys. And we got to go up close and see the deep blue color of the very fractured ice at the toe of the Brujo Glacier. The deeper the blue, the more compacted the ice has been during its lifetime. Beautiful areas to sail through because the rocks on their edges make steep walls, and it's a very dramatic landscape. What a way to end our day exploring the magnificent fjords of Patagonia.
Most of our region has a lot of glaciers, mountains, and estancias, farms like this one. This estancia that we are right now belongs to my family since 1922. Nowadays, like every Magellan farm, they have sheep and we have cattle. To work with all those animals, we need the dogs. The Magellan Shepherd dog is a crossbreed between a border collie and any other kind of dog. The relationship between a shepherd and a sheepdog, they are co-workers, so they are very loyal to each other. A very good trained sheepdog can manage around 500 sheep by itself. We shear our sheep once a year. First, we shear the 1-year-old sheep. The shearing is a very physical job. They have to learn how to manage the animal so the sheep can feel comfortable and don't move. So the first thing that they shear is the tummy. They're gonna shear the rest of the sheep in just one take. It takes around 1 minute to 1 minute and a half to shear one sheep. One man can shear around 150 sheep per day. They're gonna put the fleece in that table over there. There will be another 2 to 3 men working, taking off the dirty pieces of the fleece. We're gonna check how thin the wool is. The thinner the wool, the better the price. As you can see, very white, right? That's one of the quality of the Corriedale wool. We are one of the few families here in the region of Magellan that dedicates themselves to breeding of the pure blood Chilean horse. As you may heard, The countryman of Argentina is called the gaucho. In Chile, the countryman is called guaso. And the Chilean guaso has their own clothes, their own attire to wear. So you can have a beautiful lamb barbecue they prepare for you, some pisco sour wine, and just relax a bit.
We know the ice is down there somewhere, remote and elusive. Captain James Cook tried to find it 3 times. If you sail south in the right place, then it is not so far away. We know that there are penguins and that there are some seals. We are hoping to see some whales. We believe that an abundance of ice is waiting for us, to dazzle us, amaze us, waiting over the Drake horizon, hidden, indifferent. On the far side of the Southern Ocean, penguins, seals and whales waiting for us. We've seen it on the TV, life in the freezer, seen images in coffee table books, the white collar seen from space. Are we there yet?
Welcome to Antarctica. What an amazing start to our time down here. We've got a beautiful sunny day, the wind's howling in a little bit, but it's actually not too cold, and we're here at Yankee Harbour on the South Shetland Islands. An amazing greeting down here. The Gentoos are just really showing off for us. Here at this nesting site, a real joy for us to come ashore and find that they're having a really good breeding season. There's lots of chicks around. They're about a month old, maybe 5 weeks old. So they've still got a few weeks left until they're finally finishing up. So many chicks and they're looking really healthy, lots of them. They're all looking really chunky. They've obviously been doing very well, getting a good feed. This looks like a very healthy colony this year. It's a really bustling site here, there's lots going on. Just an amazing thing to see for our first morning operating down in Antarctica.
Yesterday's fury has given way to a tranquil morning here on Cooverville Island. As we navigated the icebergs and the glassy waters in the bay, humpback whales made their appearance. We came ashore early in the morning. The entire beach, which had been dormant in shadow, suddenly became a vibrant community, bustling with the activities of the Gentoo penguins that inhabit this beach. On the rocks of the cliffs above me, one of the best examples of mosses and lichens that inhabit Antarctica. There are several Gentoo colonies here, and between them, penguin highways, where penguins traverse back and forth, to and from the colonies and the sea. With their sharp claws on the front of their webbed feet, they can navigate 30-degree slopes with ease. Their trails visible in the snow, up and over seemingly impossible steep hills. Here in one of the largest Gentoo colonies in the area, the chicks are still somewhat less mature. Penguins aren't just scavenging in these waters, they're hunting actively, pursuing krill and Antarctic icefish. On a beach that's shallow and easily shelving as this, penguins are able to swim ashore, hop up and walk up the rocks. And the evidence of their diet can be seen on the rocks of the beach by the color of the guano that surrounds these colonies and gives the air its distinctive, characteristic, and ever so memorable smell.
The icebergs here have been absolutely amazing.
It's been a peaceful, magical, tranquil morning in which Antarctica has shown her other face to us and revealed its splendor in so many subtle ways among the ice, the snow, and the rocks of Couverville Island. One can only imagine what Antarctica has in store for us tomorrow.
Tempestuous storm advances, engulfing our canopied steel halls. Cocooned we continue with dances as the raging seas rise and fall.
Currently we have about 35 knots and steady winds. We will wait another hour to see if conditions do change, and then we will make a decision on changing our itinerary.
Cetaceans secure beneath the maelstrom, beaks and whiskers hunker down, well used to gale, wind and spray, knowing the sun will rise the following day.
In Antarctica's realm of endless light, where glaciers gleam in polar light. Boundless ice spreads far and wide in a land where time and cold collide. Beneath the frost, life finds a way, a testament to resilience each and every day. In this place where beauty abounds, humpback whales dance, their presence profound. Their grace and power, a marvel to behold, in this frozen sanctuary where stories unfold. In Sierra Cove, where harshness meets grace, a delightful story in this icy place. Where life's tenacity and beauty thrive, in the heart of Antarctica, alive.
The icebergs, the sky, the water, it all gave us inspiration.
As for us, evolved for temperate climes, adding layers of wool, feather and fleece, layered in mango and rubber in black lines, braving the swell waves that never cease.
We managed to get into the Zodiac, out into that ocean. It was pretty chilly, hunting wildlife, as we do now for photographs and nothing else.
Our last day on the Antarctic Peninsula brought us an encounter with the third and final brush-tailed penguin, the Adelie. Resting during fishing forays on a giant iceberg impossibly high above the water. How did they get up there? And how would they get down? Have these penguins mastered the art of flight? Of course, penguins don't fly. However, they have fully mastered the art of the belly flop. And they are truly experts at flying in their own watery realm.
Shadowed by successive storms, katabatic cyclones become the norm, breaking free and heading north, striving for all we're worth.
We had the most incredible encounter today. Up on the bridge of the ship, they detected by radar a massive iceberg. We soon determined that this was the world-famous A23A iceberg. It broke off in 1986 from the Filchner ice shelf. It was grounded for a couple of decades. In November of 23, it cleared the northern boundary of the Antarctic Peninsula, and it went into the open waters of the Scotia Sea. This iceberg is about 1,200 feet thick, and about the top 150 feet is exposed above the water. It brings nutrients into the water, so there were fin whales and there were birds of so many different varieties just dwarfed by the massive size of this iceberg. About 1,200 square miles of ice just floating and sailing through the Scotia Sea. We were so incredibly lucky.
Crossing in Shackleton's wake, only 800 miles, a piece of cake.
Well, we are filled with exultation at making it to shore finally. We were worried this morning that the katabatic winds would thwart our plans to get on land here. Though we are incredibly happy to be here, we're also moved by the history of this old whaling station. 175,000 whales over a 60-year period were processed on the shores of South Georgia.
Started in 1904, Carl Larsen, who was a Norwegian, took up a residence here, and he basically brought 300 people, men mainly, to come and be part of the whale hunting industry.
This is where the blubber that is extracted from the whale was processed. They were boiled and separated and refined and put into barrels and sent to various places around the world to be used as lubricants and lighting and in the cosmetic industry to make margarine. What's so poignant about seeing this whaling station so many years later is seeing the wildlife reclaiming this area. This being the first time on land with the mighty king penguin, how incredible to see them in the sunlight. They're in their molting phases now, so all those feathers are coming off, ready for the winter season where they will go out and fatten up and return to hopefully find their breeding partner and make the new generation. The fur seals are running all over the landing area. We have to be careful not to step on them. Can these fur seals be any cuter? They're little tiny pups already practicing their beachmaster skills. We just cannot get enough of these little guys.
This was a Norwegian whaling base. There were only men, and the Norwegians had to find things to occupy themselves so they didn't get up to mischief like football. But up here, almost lost, is a ski slope that they constructed. When there was plenty of snow, they used to have ski jumping competitions, and that dulled their passions to some extent.
It looks like a UFO to me, to be perfectly serious.
Incredibly, after everything the Shackleton went through, he finally passed away here at Grytviken and was laid to rest in the most beautiful surroundings he could possibly have hoped for. This was one of the most special places in his journey, and we're so touched by being able to visit this area of his final resting place.
So to this day, people come from far and wide to toast the boss and visit his grave here in Grytviken.
A visit to Salisbury Plain is one of the most epic wildlife experiences to be had in South Georgia, and indeed the world. Here, 60,000 pairs of king penguins raise their young on the beach and on the slopes behind, in an amazing breeding cycle that takes more than a year to complete, including leaving the chicks for several months alone and unfed over the worst of the winter. With the breeding birds and the non-breeding sub-adults and the immatures, there can be up to 250,000 king penguins on the beach here. An amazing sight. And these are one of the most attractive of all of the penguins, standing nearly a metre tall and with fantastic bright orange patches on the side of the neck and on the upper chest. These are a beautiful bird. This is often a hostile location, with swells rolling in from the Atlantic, making it difficult for anyone to get a view of this amazing place. But today the weather has been kind to us, with calm conditions allowing us to complete a full day of Zodiac operations, giving us amazing views of these stunning birds on the beach and in the water around us. As the adults are swimming out to sea, going on foraging trips of maybe a couple of 100 kilometres looking for food to bring back to their youngsters, they're swimming back past us in their tight groups, always alert for an attack from a seal, and they're coming up onto the beach on their way back to the rookery to feed their waiting young.
The original skin-on-frame kayak was essentially biomimicry of the pinniped, purpose-built to be able to hunt them. Of course, today we use them simply to experience nature as unobtrusively as possible. We have this silent sea level perspective where we can kind of sneak inside an ecosystem, be literally in amongst the wildlife, and let them decide how they want to interact with us. And ironically, given our history here, the thousands of creatures along this shoreline are all just indifferent, intrigued, or in the case of these fur seal pups, actively investigating us, eye to eye.
Alongside the penguins, this is such a rich wildlife site for a range of other species. We've seen fur seals, elephant seals, and a host of birds including giant petrels, storm petrels, and South Georgia shags.
We're here in South Georgia toward the end of summer, a perfect time to watch and fall in love with Antarctic fur seal pups. We see so many pups here now because of a phenomena called breeding synchrony, where 90% of the pups are born within a 10-day window. These pups are loud and gregarious, learning and practicing all the skills they'll need as adults. Who knows what they're saying to each other as they hoot and holler? Are they slinging insults? Your mama was a fish licker! Are they brokering power deals, composing love songs? What we do know is that this early time exploring in the kelp beds is critical for their development. Because soon they'll be on their own, heading to sea to live their best salty sea dog lives.
A full day here is always an incredible experience and something we'll remember for a very long time indeed. A fantastic way to end our time in the astonishing place that is South Georgia.
Falkland and Stanley, in the middle of the South Atlantic, had had a great impact in both First and Second World War. Nowadays, its main focus is on fishery management and growing tourism. The Falkland again was in the center of the news in '82. Military action took place in Stanley. For 2 long months, until June the 14th, they were liberated by the Royal Marines in a major joint effort of the task group, which was sent all the way down from Britain. All of its history is forever kept in this very beautiful museum in Stanley. Sitting here on the bench outside watching the old buildings and out at sea, where it all began, drinking a cup of English tea.
As we come to a new island, we complete our 10th season of Seaborne Quest in Antarctica, a unique and a favorite trip among our team members, ending up with great days in the Falkland Islands.
We're on the extreme west of the Falklands. You're at New Island, and this is a settlement rookery at New Island Nature Reserve. So the whole island is a nature reserve, a national nature reserve. So we have no sheep, no cows, no farming going on here at all. And that's basically funded because you guys are coming. This is a mixed seabird colony, so we've got a mixture here of rockhopper penguins, black-browed albatross and imperial shags. So in this colony, the count this year was around 6,000 rockhopper pairs, and there's around 3,000 albatrosses and around 3,000 of the imperial shags in this colony. The rockhoppers, they're the last penguins to arrive and the first ones to leave. So our rockhopper chicks are just fledging now. Once the chicks have left, the adults will go to sea. They'll feed up for a couple of weeks and then they'll come ashore for 3 or 4 weeks to molt out. And then we will be covered in feathers. There'll be feathers everywhere. It'll be like a snowstorm here.
We have an incredible privileged time when we came across the beautiful colony of the black-browed albatrosses. These birds are devoted to each other for breeding for the rest of their lives. These birds are so dependent on their nesting sites, places that are crucial for the development. We're looking at these chicks here, which depend entirely on their parents to develop into this beautiful, amazing plumage that will setting off for life in the ocean.
So at this time of year, the albatross chicks are getting big and fluffy now. So those albatross chicks were born beginning of December. End of March, beginning of April, they'll be heading off.
One of the most fascinating features that these albatross have is their flying style. The dynamic soaring that allows them to cover miles in a very effortless way to navigate the open ocean looking for food. But it's equally remarkable when you have the chance to see them on the land. Having a close look of these impressive birds who has inspired many, many people. I am the albatross that awaits you at the end of the world. I am the forgotten soul of the dead sailors from the seas of the war that crossed Cape Horn. But they didn't die in the furious waves. Today, they sail on my wings towards eternity, in the last crack of the Antarctic winds.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on board Seabourn Quest for this Antarctica voyage. Antarctica is often described as a land of extremes, where the essence of nature's raw beauty unfolds. We were definitely tested on our journey and had no other option but to embrace the unexpected and to understand the extreme conditions which define Antarctica. Yet in these challenges, I hope you did find the opportunity to witness a world untouched by the usual constraints of civilization. So thank you once again, my fellow expeditioners, to have shared this adventure with us.